song she was singing. And the sun broke through the windows. Now everyone's humming along. And she got everybody singing that universal song.
Welcome to the reading vlog. You might be wondering why I have this guitar. And honestly, I don't even know why I have this guitar. All I know is that this book has a guitar. I just finished reading this book. I just finished making that reading vlog. And that made me wear a cowboy hat. And so, here we are. We're gonna be reading Heartless today. I literally just finished doing my review for Flawless, so go ahead and watch that video if you haven't already, linked down in the description. But I'm super excited to continue on with the Chestnut Spring series. The first book, it wasn't amazing, it wasn't terrible, but I liked it enough to want to continue on with the series and see what the rest of it is about. I'm super excited for this. I'm also super excited to see what I'm gonna do with this thumbnail because I have this big guitar here. This guitar and this hat isn't even mine. Anyways, so Heartless is about the older brother, Cade. He's very grumpy and he has a 5-year-old son. From what I understand, he gets Summer's best friend, Willa, to babysit Cade's son. And then we're gonna have a relationship there, I think. If he's grumpy, I'm only assuming she's Sunshine, which literally my favorite tropes. Like the first book, enemies to lovers, love that. Second book, Grumpy Sunshine, I love that. So favorite tropes back to back, I eat up. We're just gonna go ahead and get started with the reading and I'll take you guys along with me on with the video. Oh, I'm funny.
Is anywhere we can go. Anywhere we can go. Falls Church, North Virginia is where we took our...
Hello. So I need to apologize because I've been really bad with giving you guys updates because I'm actually a little bit more than halfway through with this book. I'm on page 245, chapter 19. I haven't really given you any updates, but also I don't feel like there was like a whole lot of updates that needed to be had anyways. But let me go ahead and give you some backstory. So we have our guy Cade, who is Rhett from book 1's older brother. He has a 5-year-old son and he's been looking for a nanny for him because when it's the summertime, he still needs to work and his son Luke is out of school and the lady who used to watch him is getting too old to keep up with him, and so he's been interviewing a lot of women and they just all seem to be more interested in Cade rather than his son, so it hasn't been working out. So Summer, who is the love interest and main character in book 1, suggests her best friend Willa to be his new nanny. And so Cade is just a very grumpy guy. He doesn't smile, he doesn't laugh or have a good time really. He's just all seriousness. And Willa is the complete opposite. She's super fun, like the life of the party, outgoing. So they don't really get along right away. And it's mostly because of Cade. Like he just is grumpy and doesn't let people in. And he's also super protective of his son and has trust issues because of what happened with his son's mom. So there's been a lot of things in his past that made him be the grumpy guy that he is today. So honestly, so far I'm really enjoying it. It's been really interesting to see how Cade and Willa's like relationship is growing, and honestly also how Willa and Luke's relationship is going because she's the nanny. Luke has been so close to her, which is just so great for me to see. I love that, and I never thought I would be a single dad trope lover, but I think this is gonna convert me because seeing Cade be the grumpy man he is, but then have such a soft spot for Luke, and then seeing Willa and Luke's connection get bigger and stronger and how it is slowly making Cade lower his walls as well. And so far in this book, we've just been slowly seeing them go from butting heads, not getting along, to, you know, they're starting to see eye to eye, they're starting to trust each other and like each other, and they prioritize Luke so much, which is just so sweet to me. And Willa's even getting to the point where she doesn't even feel like being his nanny is a job. So I just really like it so far. It's a slow slow burn, and y'all know how I feel about slow burns. It's got to be done right. And I feel like so far with Elsie Silver, in the first book it was a slow burn, and this is a slow burn too, but I don't feel like I'm dying. I'm still really interested in what's going on, and I feel like she's giving me enough things that are like making the tension so palpable. So it's been really enjoyable. I also really like how Willa just doesn't take crap from nobody. Like Cade, he just can be very disrespectful sometimes because he's so snappy and serious and all that. And so whenever he does something that is just out of line and uncalled for, she'll just like call him out on it, which I really like because I do not like the disrespect, and I do not like, you know, just sitting down and taking it. Like she fights back, which is really nice. She has like a lot of confidence and she can be very like fiery, but then there's also a side of her that's also like a little bit uncertain and insecure a little bit, just because like she has really successful parents and an older brother, and she feels a little bit lost of what she wants to do with her life. And so seeing how those two parts of her work are really interesting. And same thing with Cade, like he's super grumpy and serious, you know, doesn't show a lot of affection, but at the same time he does show a lot of affection through like cooking and taking care of people and like trying to show how much he cares through actions at the same time. So I don't know, I really like how we get to know these characters a little bit deeper than just like, oh, he's grumpy and she's fiery. It's like we're seeing it based on their actions. And yeah, I think it's just really sweet. And there's this one scene where like Luke goes to a birthday party and some stuff happens and Willa just defends him so hard, and I just love that. Just how much she cares about Luke is so sweet, and just Luke is just so sweet. Honestly, like the banter is so good. Like a good banter, guys, good dialogue always gets me, and I feel like that's really important. And also like I feel like I'm laughing out loud. Like there's a lot of like innuendos going on and like jokes that have double meanings sometimes, and I really like the way that it is in this book. Sometimes I feel like it can be like a little bit, I don't know, not so entertaining, maybe cheesy to me, and it is kind of cheesy, but like in a good fun way. I really like it. I'm trying to think about how I think it compares to the first book, just because I'm so far in right now. I feel like I'm thinking like the first book definitely has more like layers in it, because we had the relationship and Rhett's career, and then also Summer and her family dynamic and her relationship with her ex, and lots of things going on with that. So there's definitely not as much of that in this book, but I do feel like I am enjoying their relationship more. So I don't know, we're just gonna keep reading, we're just gonna see how it plays out, but so far so good. I'm really liking Elsie Silver. I feel like right now the biggest thing that I don't know what to do is like if I should just zoom and read the other 3 books before starting another book or series, or just like read another book in the middle of the series, because I don't know. I have so many books that I want to read right now, but that's neither here nor there. So we're just gonna keep reading. Hopefully I can give better updates and not just wait until I'm done with the book to let you know when something's going on. So I'll catch up with you guys later. Oh my god, I know I said this in the last reading vlog, but the lighting, guys, is so freaking good. Like, I feel like I need to film videos in the kitchen more with this lighting, because it's like, what time is it? Like 11, I think now? And like, she's so good. And it's so funny because when I had my iPhone, like recording in the kitchen was the worst quality, but like in the kitchen with my new camera, it's so good. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. So it's the next day and I read quite a lot last night. I feel like I have like maybe a little bit over 100 pages left, but things are progressing and they're going well. And we get mentions of like Luke's mother here and there, and they just talked about something that I'm assuming is going to maybe have some potential for drama to occur with Luke's mother, which I'm kind of really excited to see, because you know I like drama. I talk about it all the time. If you saw the reading vlog for the first book in this series, you saw me freaking out when there was drama. So I'm really excited to see how this can possibly play out. Also, something that I forgot to mention in the first vlog is how we get mentions of their younger sister Violet. So there's 3 brothers, one kind of adopted brother, and they have a younger sister. Her name's Violet, but we don't really get mention of her very often. But they just talked about how there's gonna be like a reunion of Violet and then their cousin Sloane, who I'm pretty sure is going to be the main girl in the next book, which I'm super excited about. And I just did some research and I found out that Violet has her own book, but it's not in this series. What's it called? Like Gold Rush series or something, but it's like a horse theme, still cowboy, small town vibe. So Violet does have her own book in a different series, which I'm considering checking out depending on how I like her when we get introduced to her in this book. But I'm kind of excited and living for it because like everyone's connected to everybody in this series, and I'm assuming also in the next series, so I'm super excited to read it. Also, I gotta just give a quick little shout out to the Eaton men, because so far with Rhett and Cade, I just love how they are not like trying to mess around. Like when they like these girls, they are not here for like a short fling or anything like that. Like they know the type of guy that they are, and they know that when they like are this invested in a person, they don't want like a one-night stand, they don't want something short-term. Like they know who they are and they just know that they want more with these girls, and they don't really hide it, which I really like. Yeah, I don't know if that's just like part of like their gentlemanly charm or like a small town thing or just these guys in this series, but I'm really liking that because I don't like miscommunication whatsoever. If one of the girls are feeling some type of way or feeling insecure, not knowing how they feel, then they'll clear it up, and I love that. So yeah, we're gonna keep reading. I'm on page 320, chapter 25. So probably gonna finish this book today. Probably update you if something happens, but so far so good. We are almost done and I'm super excited to talk about it. Okay, bye. Okay, so I'm on page 402. Page 402? Something happened. Plot twist. I'm not even done. I literally read the line. Same thing with my last vlog when juicy things was happening. I just read the line that said what it was, and then I had to pull out my camera, so I'm gonna keep reading. But these books be having like little plot twists, and this was a good one. I'm really excited about this one. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep reading and I'll come back later. Well, actually, shoot, I have like 60 pages left. Let me just finish reading. I'll probably come back to tonight, but I'm really liking this book. I don't know if it's better than the last one or even worse. Right now they're seeming kind of tied, so maybe they're the same. I don't know. But Willa and Cade, I love them. Together, they're so cute. Also, we met Violet, which was cool, but we're gonna talk all about that later. So yeah, bye. Welcome back. So we're gonna be doing the Heartless spoiler-free review right now, and if you want, of course, to stay to the end, we're gonna talk a little bit about spoilers. But I am super excited. As you can see, I feel like I am slowly becoming a cowgirl, and the fact that I just have these items, they're not even mine, they're my man's. The cowboy hat, this guitar, he just is Chestnut Springs, I guess, because like okay, so anyways, let me put you back here. Ah, okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go ahead and talk about this book. So just a little recap. We have Cade. He's the oldest Eaton brother. He's the grumpy single dad, and he needs someone to watch his son Luke over the summer because the lady that has been watching him is getting too old and can't keep up with him because he's 5 years old and needs things to do. So Summer, who's the main girl in the first book, she suggests her best friend Willa to do the job and to babysit. And Willa is in this point of her life where she doesn't really know what to do. She has a very wealthy family, so she doesn't really have to worry about money, but she doesn't have like a passion or know what direction to lean into. So she goes ahead and takes the job, and we follow their story, which is really nice to see. This is the first single dad trope that I think I've ever read. Gotta say I'm a fan, and gotta say I love that he's grumpy, because then it just really highlights how much he loves his son, because he's so sweet and has a soft spot to his son, as he should. So that was really nice. And I also love how like these Eaton boys, guys, they don't mess around. So far, Cade and Rhett, when they fall for somebody, they don't mess around. They're not trying to give any type of impression that they just want something quick or whatever. They want a long-term for lifers situation, and I just love that. So this has been really nice, just seeing how Cade will not care about his grumpy image when it comes to Willa and lower his guard a little bit. I also really like how in this story there's so much dimension to every character that I've met so far. I love every single character in this book so far. Like, there's so many layers that isn't just like, oh, I'm grumpy and we don't know why. Like, we learn why Cade's grumpy. We learn why, like, Willa is the way that Willa is. Like, we get to learn a lot about them, and it's not just like, oh, I'm just this way because I am this way. Like, we get so much background into their past. Willa is very independent, she's very loyal, she's very carefree, but then it's a nice comparison because when it comes to Luke, she's very responsible and caring, and it just molds, I guess, so well with who she is. Like, everything that she does and her actions, same thing with Cade, they just make sense. I don't feel like there's really any curveball that I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you act that way? And I said this with the first book too, like, we get to know them so well that every action that they do just makes so much sense, even if I don't agree with them. One thing that is very slight that I don't know, and this is just a me thing, like, because she's a redhead and like they talk about how she's so fiery and all this stuff, and like, I don't know, I guess things that are very like obvious in that way, like, oh, fiery redhead, associate her personality with her red hair, and it kind of makes it her personality trait in a way, which I'm not like necessarily against, but I guess when it's kind of overdone, it annoys me a little bit, just a little bit, because that's how it was with Twisted Kate, because she was also a very fiery redhead. And I guess, I don't know, whenever that's the case, sometimes it makes me blend characters from different books who are all fiery redheads with each other. I guess because they kind of make it into their personality trait. Like, if she was just a fiery person, it just so happens to be a redhead, I wouldn't do that. But I guess because they kind of drill it a lot in here, like, oh, I'll blame my red hair, then I kind of am like, it's not necessarily like a bad thing, it's just something that I realized. And also, the conflict in this book isn't very strong as well. I talked about this in the first book. The conflict was kind of weak. I don't know, I feel like it could have been stronger, but also, like, I'm not too mad about it, because when I read books, I'm not trying to be like stressed out, so I'm not mad at it. We also learn a little bit about Violet, which she has her own book in a different series by this author, which I'm considering reading because I feel like she's pretty cool. Like, I like the little bit that we learned about her, so something I might consider. But that was something that I really liked, because in the first book we hear about her a lot. Like, Rhett says that she's the only one who understands his bull riding career and stuff like that, so I wanted to learn more about her and wanted to see their relationship a bit more, so I'm glad that we actually got to see her in person in this book. And also, something to note is that while in the first book there's so many intertwining factors, this one doesn't have as many. Like, I feel like there was a lot of things that were open-ended with the first book that we won't learn about until later books, but this one, I feel like it was properly like closed out, just because her story isn't linked the same way Summer and Winter's stories are linked. So that was something that I noticed. We got some more answers though from the first book into this one. Not everything, but we got a little bit more answers and got to learn about Winter as well. I'm really excited for her book. But the banter was really good. The dialogue was hilarious. I didn't feel like it was overdone or corny, or maybe it was corny or cheesy, but I really liked it. I loved how the slow burn literally kept me engaged the whole time. The tension was palpable. Freaking love that. I don't know if I said this, but there's spice in this book. I'm pretty sure there's spice in all the books, so keep that in mind. Overall, I don't feel like this book is any better or worse necessarily than the first book, but I feel like I'm more confident giving this one a 4 stars, just because, like I said, it seemed properly closed, unlike the first book where there's so many things that were open and left for next books to be concluded. But that doesn't mean that this one was necessarily better either. Like, this was something I was struggling with. I just feel like maybe as a standalone this is better because I don't have any questions left. Like, I got everything answered, I know what I know. But in the first book there's so many questions because Summer and Winter stories are so intertwined, and Winter's story isn't coming up until later in the series. So that's just something to keep in mind. But I feel like at the end of, once I read everything, the first and second book will probably be even once I have all my answers. But just as a standalone itself, this one for sure is a 4 stars. And I just love how Cade and Willa, they have their own insecurities, but then they like support each other in it. Like, things that have happened in their past make them feel a certain way, and they recognize when they're feeling that way, and then they validate them, reassure them, and it's just like so supportive, and I love that they do that. Anyways, I think that is all I have for the review. I really liked it. I feel like you guys should read this series. So far, I feel like this is slowly turning me into a cowgirl. I really freaking enjoy it, so I hope you will too, and I hope you'll give it a chance. So if you are interested, then go ahead and skip this next section because we're going to be talking about the spoilers. But if you want to know about the spoilers, then just keep on watching. I feel like the big plot twist with the pregnancy, like, I loved. Like, when I came on here, I was telling you guys that there's something that happened, and I just pulled out the camera to let you know. That was that. It was the pregnancy. And first of all, I really liked how thought out it was with how, like, Willow was throwing up and getting sick, and she was on birth control, but like, when you throw it up, it's not controlling any birth. So So I like how there was like a little explanation for that. Tiny details like that is nice for me. But I don't know, it just seemed like a little bit of a miscommunication thing, and like I wish it was better because like they took some time apart afterwards, which I felt like was kind of unnecessary and it could have just easily been cleared up. But I understand how like Willa didn't want Cade to think that she did on purpose, and Cade didn't want her to freak out and wanted to support her however she wanted to feel supported. And so I get it, even though I don't agree with it. And it was so short-lived. It was maybe like a chapter or so of them being apart before they're like all over each other and in love again. So it is what it is. But yeah, I just felt like it could have been a little bit stronger. Also, something that I really wish that we did more of was some more drama with Cade's baby mama, like, or his ex-wife. I feel like there could have been more to it. Like, she is like a terrible person and whatever, but like I wish there was more. Okay, and that's just the toxic person in me, my toxic reader habits. I want drama. I want her to get a taste of her own medicine. I want all of that. And like when Luke was asking Willa, oh my god, this almost made me cry. When Luke was asking Willa if he can call her mom, oh my god, I'm literally getting chills. Like, that was so freaking sweet. I was so close to crying because I was like, this boy is the purest soul. He's so sweet. And I love that. And I guess a part of me wanted to see his ex-wife see him call Willa mom. Like, I feel like that, I don't know, give you a little taste of your own medicine. Yeah, just like small things that I wish would have happened. And I like good drama. I like a good mess. Like, the first book had mess. Like when Winter finds out Summer's big secret and her husband's situation. That was messy. And I guess I wanted a little bit more messy, but it's okay. I don't really know what else to say. Like, their cute little family. Willa gets pregnant, has a daughter named after Cade's mother. We don't really get to see much of Willa's family, which honestly is fine. Like, we don't have to if there's no story there, so that's not a problem. But seeing their little cute family of 4, I also would have maybe liked to see Luke meet his sister and like Luke know that they're together and they're gonna be together, because they said he was crying and he was so happy because he loved Willa so much. I would have loved that, really, honestly. And low-key, I feel like I deserve it because like we see this boy fall in love with Willa, how Willa falls in love with this little boy. I would love to see his excitement when he learns that she's like here to stay for good. So anyways, that's just me, I guess. Anyways, I think that is all. I'm gonna stop the reading vlogs here with the Chestnut Spring series because I just want to read the rest of the 3 and then maybe make a video explaining my whole thoughts on the series. So wait until then, and then we can talk a little bit more about the Chestnut Spring series, and I'll probably be a whole cowgirl by then. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.
Is anywhere we can